This area is not even visible on Google Maps, and a strange cloud has remained completely still for 6 months. But when they discovered the truth behind it, something horrifying emerged. He had just started walking home after speaking with his father when he heard distant screams coming from the cloud. Suddenly, small objects began falling from the sky. One of them struck his father. His father sat motionless on the horse. He called out to him, no response. As the horse slowly moved forward, his father's body slipped and fell to the ground. He did everything he could to save his father's life, but it was too late. By the time they reached the hospital, he was gone. Something metallic had pierced through his eyes and into his brain. The next day, as he stood beside the horse his father had ridden, he noticed a key chain lodged into the horse's back, one that had not been there before. One night, the same horse reappeared in the arena after being missing for some time. He went out to check on it, but just then, it ran off again. He followed it to the nearest farm. At that moment, the lights in a nearby house suddenly went out, and in that instant, he saw an alien spaceship hovering in the darkness. The next day, he went to store-bought security cameras and pointed them toward the sky. They also placed a decoy for the alien spaceship. The next night, he saw his lost horse in the arena. He went outside to check on it, and just as he approached, the horse ran away. At that moment, the alien spaceship appeared and beamed up the decoy they had placed. Then, the spaceship spotted him. His sister shouted from a distance, telling him to run. He sprinted as fast as he could and took cover inside a wooden structure. The spaceship stopped following him. But the horse was still outside, running in circles, until the alien beam locked onto it and pulled it up. Then, the spaceship vanished into the night. On the CCTV cameras, they spotted something strange, a cloud that wasn't moving at all. They believed they had proof of alien presence to report to the government for intervention. However, it wasn't enough, as it could easily be dismissed as a weather phenomenon. OJ left to retrieve Lucky, the horse, from the Star Lasso show, only to discover that everyone had already been beamed up by the alien ship. Lucky was the only one left, still locked in the cage. Just as OJ approached to get him, the creature attacked, knocking him unconscious. When he woke up, he immediately called her and told her, "It's not a spaceship, it's a creature." At the same time, the thing began throwing down the belongings and accessories of those it had taken, scattering them across the roof of their home. He was returning home with Lucky and was close to the house when his vehicle suddenly broke down. At that moment, the creature dropped the decoy horse directly above his vehicle. He barely survived. After some time, he managed to get the vehicle running again and drove it back to the house. As he stepped out of the vehicle, terrified, the creature was still hovering above in the sky. Meanwhile, his sister and the IT guy were stuck inside the house. In an instant, the creature came directly over OJ. He kept his head down, gambling on the chance it wouldn't see him. The creature didn't beam him up. They all kept their heads down, quietly slipping away from there. Now, the media had begun questioning the mysterious disappearance of guests at the Star Lasso show. Later, they gathered at a restaurant, trying to figure out their next move. OJ had to get back. Without him, all his horses would die. But now, they needed evidence of the creature's existence, something powerful enough to force the government to intervene. They called the only cameraman who could pull off the impossible. He arrived with a non-electric, hand-cranked camera, because whenever the creature was near, all electronic equipment would shut down. They had solid plan, spread inflatable in the field, and when the creature appears, take the movie using non-electric camera. Just as they were about to begin, a man on an electric motorbike suddenly appeared, and at that very moment, the creature emerged from the sky. His bike lost power and shut down, throwing him to the ground. OJ rushed to help him, but before he could, the creature swooped in and beamed the man up. OJ barely escaped with his life. However, the creature began following OJ. Just as it was about to beam him up, he threw out the same rope that had been attached to the decoy horse, something the creature clearly didn't like. At that moment, OJ reached the wooden structure, jumped off Lucky, and rushed inside. The creature stopped chasing him. They finally managed to capture a clear shot of the creature on camera. However, the cameraman had something else in mind. He took the camera and went outside, determined to get another shot. The creature emerged almost instantly, and within moments, it beamed him up. The creature was smarter than they had imagined. After taking the cameraman, it destroyed all their equipment, including the cameras and the photo gate setup used to capture it. The IT guy survived only because he was outside at the time. Then, the creature turned its attention toward OJ's sister. She rushed inside to hide, but this time, the creature didn't just attack, it lifted the entire building. She ran for her life and barely made it out in time. The creature then turned to the IT guy. Sensing what was coming, he quickly began tying himself down with an iron rope. The creature beamed him, and as he was lifted off the ground, he clung tightly to the rope. Somehow, he survived. The creature revealed its true form now. Only OJ and his sister remained. He looked at her and said, "Take the bike. Get out of here." As she fled, OJ rode off in the opposite direction, drawing the creature's attention, willing to risk everything to buy her time. They shared one final look, a silent goodbye. Then they parted ways. She took off on the bike, riding in the opposite direction as fast as she could, and the creature followed. As she neared the Star Lasso show stage, a plan formed in her mind. She released the gas-filled humanoid balloon into the sky, hoping to distract the creature. The balloon floated directly above the well, which had a camera hidden inside. She began cranking the handle to capture the perfect shot. The balloon rose higher, with the creature stalking it closely. Still, it wasn't fully in the camera's view. She kept turning the handle, heart pounding. On the third attempt, just as the creature lunged for the balloon, it finally entered the frame. The camera clicked. At that very moment, the balloon exploded inside the creature, filled with gas, ripping it apart in the sky. The nightmare was over.